along with sommelier, certified oil, honey, and chocolate taster, Orietta Gianjorio.
We're going to be tasting olive oil and chocolate, and learning how to taste is very important because learning how to taste can help us and guide us through better food choices. So I'm going to pour the olive oil in the glasses for you, 1 and 2. Now smell this olive oil and tell me if you smell something that is grassy, more vibrant,
definitely.
more herbaceous, pepper,
Liz,
citrus.
we're on a
So now you drink a little bit of the olive oil, and then with your mouth you're supposed to go like this. And you do that because you're allowing for the olive oil to open up and to release all of the flavors. Now you should feel some bitterness right here and some pungency here. Okay, you look for defect. Once you notice that there's no defect, you take one and you will snap it. You want for the sound to be nice and crisp. That means that the chocolate was stored properly and it doesn't have a lot of fat inside besides cocoa butter.
So what do we do now?
Then, of course,
this is so exciting.
You want to take a very small piece of chocolate and smell it. Again, alive. It smells like tobacco. It smells like cocoa. It smells like fruit, tropical fruit, raspberry, vanilla. Here's how we do it professionally. You put it in your mouth, you let it sit for a second, you chew for 3 times. With your tongue, you press it against the roof of your mouth, and now you connect with your brain, and you exhale oxygen from your nose. You're going. You're connecting with your retronasal receptors, and you can actually smell the chocolate again once it's in your mouth. Now come up with a descriptor. When a chocolate is bitter, it means that you're on the right path. Cocoa beans are actually bitter and sour. When a chocolate is very sweet, it's probably loaded with sugar.
And so this segment has gone way too long, but I promised that we would get to something that you say you're supposed to pair chocolate with, ideally.
People ideally pair chocolate with red wine. I'm going to give you another tip. Pair it with cognac or with bourbon whiskey, and if you can, even with a single malt.
Oh my.
And here's the beauty.
Fancy.
The beauty of all this is we're talking about foods that are good for your health. Olive oil, dark chocolate loaded with healthy fats. It's actually good for your ticker. And even this in moderation is also good for your ticker. So this is truly enjoying your food slow.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Salute. Joining us this morning is Orietta Gianjorio, sommelier, olive oil. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We were just talking, and I did not know this at all. Over 100 different types of olive oil just from California.
Yes, more than 100 varietals of olives in California that allow for us to produce all sort of different olive oils with different taste and different aromas. So California, it's actually the perfect home for this first extra virgin olive oil competition for olive oil made in California. So first of all, this one, it's a Koreneki Arbequina. It's a very mild varietal, it's buttery, it's nutty. It's gonna go well with the bruschetta that I put right there because it compensates the acidity of the tomatoes.
Okay.
Now here we have a Sevillano variety. I do olive oil ice cream with that because again, it's buttery, it's floral, it's not bitter or pungent, so it goes well with the dessert.
Olive oil ice cream.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Here we have the Arbequina Arbosana Koreneki varietal. I use this olive oil every day on a salad, when I do my ragu, when I do my spaghetti, on everything I cook.
Why is this one better for salads?
It's just that this one, price-quality ratio, it's very good.
Okay.
And so it's not something that you find just in specialty store. You're going to find this olive oil in the supermarket, but it's a great extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Now, last one, again, it's another Italian varietal that has Pendolino, Leccino, Moraiolo. Now, May, when I say Italian varietal, I mean varietal that come from Italy but are planted in the United States.
I've known Orietta for a long time, and whenever we get together, I just let her talk. and have the floor because I always get such an education.
Olive oil tasting is very similar to wine tasting, but there are some differences.
Okay.
However, I want you to smell this.
Here, this smells bad. Smell it.
Well, this one is a rancid olive oil that the judges have
right?
to.
That means it's
yes,
gone
that
bad.
means it's gone bad. Well, smell this one.
Okay, hold on. Let me just. Okay. See now.
And if you smell this, this is a good
It just
product.
smells strong. I would describe that as strong.
Well,
right?
strong
Okay.
bad, but now you'll see the difference.
Oh.
See, when there
that
is
smells so
something to
nice.
compare, immediately.
I need
even
bread
if
and
you're-
garlic stat.
Right?
Even if you're not an expert, you get that.
I get the difference between those two now.
So
I do.
the judges on the 7th of May will have to first of all rule out the rancid and defective olive oil. Then we'll concentrate on the good olive oil and we'll give different prices. Well, you get on the label extra virgin olive oil. All the label have extra virgin olive oil, right? But not all of the olive oil have extra virgin. So what I want you to do when you go shopping for your olive oil is pay attention to something that is very important. See, we turn around this bottle, which, by the way, it's a California-produced olive oil, and you have the harvest date here.
Okay.
The harvest date is very important because olive oil is produced in a very short amount of time, and the harvest date will tell you when that olive oil is produced. And a bottle of olive oil is good for about 14 to 16 months and not longer than that when it's closed. So that's very important for you to know. It is. So first of all, there are no conclusive studies that honey can help us with allergies.
Right.
There are two theories. One that says, well, the bees get the pollens when they go and look for the nectars in the flowers, so that pollen is going to help us. But there's another theory that says, well, that's not the right pollen because we're allergic to the pollen that comes from the tree and not the one that comes from the flower.
Okay, so the tree and the flower are totally different.
Exactly, but there's no conclusive studies one way or another.
Okay.
The reason why you should get honey in your diet, it's because it's much better than sugar. It's got lots of vitamins and minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium.
Oh,
well, you're going to do it. First of all, this is our local honey, which I believe it's high quality honey. What makes a high quality honey is that the honey has been not pasteurized or filtered. Ultrafiltration, it's a system that will heat up the honey in order for the honey to pass through very, very thin and fine filtering system that will ruin the honey.
Okay.
We don't want
Why do they do that
to
anyway?
happen. Well, they do it because apparently consumers like to have a honey that doesn't have any residual and it looks like this one.
Yeah, it looks
very light in color.
It's pretty.
And without any residual, and it looks nice and pretty. See, this one, for instance, from Due Vigne, it's raw honey and it looks dense and it has a different color. Apparently consumers do not like that.
Oh, that looks delicious to me.
So you want to taste it, and the taste is representative of the honey. Wildflower honey, raw and unfiltered. So it's going to be, yes, sweet, but it's also going to have some sensory characteristics belonging to the flower. What you have here, it's a low-quality honey that is in a very recognizable container. And what this honey is going to left you with, it's a lot of sugar immediately, but then your mouth is going to feel like you just lick on a cardboard. Feel the astringency of that honey. That signifies that the honey has nothing inside. It's almost similar like having a full spoon of sugar.
Wow.
So what I have here, it's a Prosecco wine. It's a wine from Italy. It's a Prosecco grape. It's nice and sparkly, and that's to just start and jumpstart your drinking day.
But it's not like a champagne. It's not
No,
quite.
champagne does 2 fermentation, one in stainless steel and one in bottle. This one only does 1 fermentation. So it's a less pretentious, bubbly wine,
Prosecco,
let's say.
and I just love to hear Prosecco too. It's so beautiful, beautiful. And then you've got it here with just a little...
Just a little bruschetta, toasted bread with diced tomatoes, olive oil, and salt and basil. Very easy. Because in the summertime, what changes is also our appetite. We really need to be in a lighter side of the food. What I have here, it's a wonderful Pinot Grigio.
One of my
Now, the same winery makes my favorite rosé. It's a Barbera rosé.
A Barbera rosé.
Yes. Don't expect anything sweet from this wine. And again, look at the color. I mean, unbelievable. Even if you just put this glass of wine on the table, it's
and then
summertime.
don't touch it. And tell everyone, don't touch it.
Yeah, and you
just
don't even need any decoration on the table because just color, it's beautiful. I've paired this one with a peach salad Kalamata olives, red onions, and feta cheese. Very, very easy to make. Now, again, don't expect this wine to be sweet. Expect it to be full body as a Barbera and a spectacular wine.
Okay,
now, this is my wine for my wedding day. Believe it or not, I paired this Moscato with my wedding cake. It's a Moscato Sirocco. It's again from Italy. It's a light, sweet wine that I pair with this fruit tart. And it really is a very delicate wine that you could sip all day long.
Stunning. And you have it in a little champagne glass?
Well, this is actually a Moscato glass.
Oh, Moscato
but it was very famous in the 60s for being a champagne glass, so it kind of stayed iconically that way. But this is the typical Moscato glass, where this one is a champagne glass.
You're right, okay.
And the reason is because you do want to see the bubbles going up, because the bubble makes the quality of the champagne.
And I think just the glass, too. I mean, all these are different glasses for different wines. But it just sort of adds to the fun of the wine.
We eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouth.